So yeah, thank you, Johnny, Catherine, and Eric for the Math Matters advertisement, self-promotion. Let's go. Okay, but yeah, this is I guess we can transition to the next section, what you guys came for. I guess we'll be talking about some of the topics that you guys asked for. So yeah, all of you guys should have filled out like an interest form to come here. And so we just took some of like the questions that you asked and we just put them into like different categories. And like, we're just gonna go over like each topic. So, I mean, I already introduced myself, but I guess I'll introduce myself again. So yeah, I'm a Harvard freshman. I'm in Irvine. So the nice weather here, it's really good. This is, by the way, this is like a picture of me from our camping trip. I mean, not camping, our hiking trip. So I went hiking with my family, and this is like, we went on like this really cool trail. It's like, it's basically like rock climbing. You got to do, well, not exactly rock climbing, but you got to jump over rocks. You got to climb on rocks. Basically, I just want to say that like, I'm always a fan of math. I like to do, these puzzles, either, I mean, not just math, but like anything involving math, like computer science and physics. These are all things that are more like math based. So anything like that, that's my stuff. So Jason, hello.
Hi, so I'm a freshman at Harvard studying computer science. I'm from Northern Virginia, and I'm really interested in AI and machine learning and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and you can read more about me on the slide.
Yes, exactly. This is Jason Wong, Galaxy Brain Man. All right. Yeah, so yeah, Jason Wong, OP at computer science. He's just the man. All right. So we have Susie, Simon's son. What is that?
Hi. So I'm Simon. I'm a first year at Harvard College as well, and I'm from New Jersey. And I think I'm going to study statistics, math, and computer science, or some combination of these. I realized that I didn't really like really pure abstract math and stuff. So I guess I like applying these fields to real world problems, which I wrote here, I guess. And in my free time, I enjoy teaching, baking, and taking long walks. Long walks are really nice, and baking is really fun, but it makes me fat, which is kind of unfortunate. But yes, this is a little bit about myself.
Yes. Walk-in is nice. Okay, very cool. Okay, that's Susie. Yeah, total Chad. This guy works out every day. This guy is jacked. Yes. Hari, what is up?
Hey, I'm Hari. I'm a sophomore. I like math. I do like the more like abstract theoretical math. I'd like to go into that. Do like research after school.
Nice. Yeah, I guess different people are into different things. So. Yeah, you don't have to be all into the theoretical math, or you could be like Hari. So it depends on what you're interested in. So yeah, that is that. We have Froggers, Fiona.
Hi. Yeah, so I'm a Harvard freshman. I'm from Chicago, and I think I'm going to study math and physics, but I'm not like totally sure where my interests lie between like the abstract stuff and like the applied stuff. And yeah, I like to play violin and compose music, and yeah.
Nice. Yes. Absolute big brain here. Again, all these people are big brains. Actually, holy, this is like, yeah. I am intimidated by these people. Too amazing. And they have Marvin Lee.
Hello. Hi, my name is Marvin Lee. I'm also a first year. I'm interested in math, economics, statistics, computer science. I really don't know what. In my free time, I like to play chess and weightlift. I also like to not send photos of myself to my friends.
Oh, okay. Is this a thing? Wait,
Well, dude, I was
Minus
just pointing out that I forgot to send the bio too and the photo.
Okay. Nah, don't worry about it. Yeah, we see we see your beautiful face here, so we don't no need for any pictures. Okay, but yeah, okay. Panel discussion time. Okay, so yeah, I guess these are just the topics that you guys asked about, and yeah, we just talk about them and see where it goes. Yeah. So, college life at Harvard. Or I mean, some of these things can apply to all the different colleges, like no matter which college you go to. It's not just Harvard, but like our experiences are going to be pretty much focused on Harvard. But yeah, just letting you guys know. That's pretty obvious, but okay. So I think that college, it's been pretty good. Like, I think the best part of college is just like going to meet new people, and that I either just literally just going and just like sitting with some random person at Annenberg or in the cafeteria and just talking with random people, or you can just like through working on like your homework assignments or your own projects with other people. That's another way you can get to really know what people are like. So I'd say that's like the best part of college. But that's just, that's just for me. Like you can just like literally, I met with this like one priest at Harvard just by literally just being in Harvard Square. So like we just literally just ran up and then started talking, and then we just like kept talking. It's like you meet a lot of interesting people at Harvard. Basically, that's what I was trying to say, and that's true for any college, I feel like. So that's probably one of the best opportunities to go for at college. But of course, there are like downsides. It is a lot of work. So like Harvard, it's I mean, I think personally, like I should have taken easier classes last semester, but I did not. So if you take just like very hard classes, of course you're going to have a tough workload. So that's something to think about. I think it would have been better actually to not stress your workload that much, and so you have time to do things outside of class, and you don't have to always be worrying about doing your homework. So I mean, or it could be just time management. Maybe I also have to work on my time management and stop messing around so much when doing homework, but maybe that is me. So yeah,
One thing I have to add is at Harvard, there's something called a freshman seminar. So it's ungraded, it's pass fail. They do all sorts of interesting topics. Like you apply to a couple and they meet once a week. So it's kind of a low commitment way, but if you're interested in exploring a new topic, this is a great way to do it. So yeah.
Absolutely. I actually did a freshman seminar last semester. It was really chill. So it's just like a fun way to get to know one particular topic. For me, it was set theory, which I knew nothing about before. So we talked a bit about like philosophy of like the philosophy behind math, which was interesting. How do you know things are true in math? It's like, whoa.
I guess I can talk about sort of what like a daily schedule might look like. So you wake up, you go to class. For me, I have 9 a.m. classes. So I wake up, go immediately to class. Then I can have breakfast with friends. If I have some time, I'll probably do some problem sets with friends as well. Have lunch, go to afternoon classes. That will generally extend to maybe like 4 p.m. or so. And then it's like different from high school where you have to like, oh, you have to go home after that, right? But in college, you sort of just like do whatever you want. So you can go out with friends, you can work on more homework, which is often the case. But yeah.
Like 9 a.m. at Harvard is very early for classes. I know some of you guys from high schools who start at like 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. are like, what? What are these people doing? But if you're at Harvard, people just sleep in. So 9 a.m. is considered quite an early class. My earliest class is 10:30 a.m. So yeah, that's you know what we're talking about. We also have classes at weirder times. Like I have a class at 4:30 p.m. Like that's it's like a regular thing. So that's kind of different from. I mean, if you've done like any sports or music practice or anything that goes after school, then you know what that's like. But yeah, it is a different experience. Harvard, it's like a college is more flexible in that sense. It's like the weekends are
Like-
classes.
You have to take like I'm gonna address the classes point.
Mhm.
In high school, at least for me, I took 7 classes throughout the year and then 15-minute blocks for each. And then there was lecture every day. Well, there was class every day. Like in the classes I'm taking, there's lecture 2 to 3 times a week, 3 hours a week. So like 12 hours of lecture and 15 hours of lecture a week. Most of the work is done outside of the classroom, P sets. Yeah. And someone asked when do you guys go to bed? I initially earlier in the semester I was very good. Like I went to sleep at like 11, 12. Well, yeah, 11, 12, and then woke up at like 8. But then later on in the semester, it's either because I was like stressed and unproductive. I started going to sleep at like 2 and then waking up at 9. I definitely think sleep-wise, you can get 7 hours, 8 hours if you're efficient, 7, 8 hours. But yeah, you need to like think about like organize yourself to get, like you need to prioritize sleep. Because it's really easy to just like talk with some people until like 3 a.m. or something. And
Yeah, I feel like sleep schedules were all over the place. Like my roommate, she was going to sleep at 10 and waking up at 6 every day. But then I also know people who are sleeping at like 3. I mean, I was sleeping at 3 for part of the semester too. But yeah, I think like for me, sleep was very important because I feel like it was even more important for me in college because a lot of my day is like unstructured time that I need to devote to like doing work. And if I don't sleep, then I'm not going to like have the willpower to manage my time and like get my work done.
Yeah.
And
As long as you get enough sleep. I think different people sleep at different times, but like as long as you like Hari, I don't know how you do it, man.
no, but at the same time, like talking with people until 3 a.m. That's also an potentially important part of college. So
That's true.
there's nothing wrong with that. Like falling into interesting conversations very late. So
That's very true. That is very true.
valuable.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is valuable, but like it's important I say build, especially if you want to exercise. Like if you want to exercise, maintain that's incredibly like difficult to, at least for me. If I wasn't part of a sport or anything, but like to wake up early and go to the gym, like I think I was good for the first month, and then just like after midterms, just there's some like thinking you need to do. There's some thinking you need to do.
Yeah, no. I think we could all benefit from just like regular sleep. Like sometimes if you like you're in a conversation and it's really going off and you just don't want it to end, you just want to like you're in that zone, you're talking with people, or you just like, or I don't know, you're in a sort of state of mind where you want to like you want to stay in that state of mind, but you don't want to like, and you don't want to like have to leave and like try to go back in. But I guess unless it's that kind of situation, you should prioritize your health and just sleep regularly, I guess. Yeah, I think someone asked about balancing schoolwork and social life at Harvard. So this is a pretty good point, because like part of being at Harvard, like one of the advantages of being at Harvard is that you get to like talk to a bunch of other like people, right? So like so social life is just as valuable basically as your academic work, if not more valuable at Harvard. So it's really important to just prioritize like both of these aspects. It's also good to work. This is good. You got to work on your schoolwork with other people. So it's kind of combining both. So that way, like you can, you also get through your work faster if you're working with other people, especially if it's like stuff that's really tough, like CS, where you can't do it without other people. So yeah, like Simon, Jason, and I, we were studying for that CS 61 final together, and there's no way we could have done anything by ourselves. I was just like, no, we would not have stayed motivated. We would not. I wouldn't have stayed motivated. I wouldn't have done anything if it weren't for these guys. So thank you guys for sticking with me. We got through it. We got through CS 61. But yeah, I'd say yeah, that definitely do work with other people. Don't just sit there doing your work by yourself. You got to talk with other people, and also go to office hours, talk to the professors, talk to the CAs. And okay, so all right, passion / gaining interest in math. Okay, so this is actually interesting. So when and why did you decide to pursue math? When? So I don't think there's like a moment where I sort of decided that I'm going to pursue math as like a decision. Like I thought it over, like I sat down and be like, okay, what should I pursue? Maybe math. I don't think there's like a thing like that, but so maybe this is just the way that I am. That I'm just interested in like logic, puzzles, these sorts of things. And then I just sort of, I don't think I like decided to do it, but I just sort of leaned towards that direction in the things that I did do. And, you know, like as a kid, I would like do Rubik's Cubes and like other math things. And that's me now.
I think that like, at least for me, I took a very like natural approach. So like, I think my story is very similar to Kevin. I was interested in it, and then I was like, okay, I looked at this more. I took classes from Apps, art of problem solving, in like middle school. They were also like, yeah, and then I really just, I think my first introduction to pure mathematics was a Ross mathematics program, which I guess we'll talk about later. Yeah.
Yeah, that summer program, we have like a section for talking about summer camps, but yeah. So yeah, competition math is a thing. I guess it was pretty interesting to go into, like yeah, just problem solving, you know. Problem solving is a pretty important task for just in general. So I would recommend solving problems if you can. Go on like AOPS, as Marvin mentioned, the art of problem solving. And yeah, you can just, there are a lot of resources on there for learning competition math if you want to go that route. I think another strong influencing factor for me personally was watching math YouTube videos. If you guys know like 3 Blue 1 Brown, Number File, Mathologer, like these are like, if you guys have heard of any of those, I used to watch their videos as a kid, so it was it was, I think, a way to just learn all the stuff that's happening in math. Like these guys who make these videos are all like extremely good at math. Some of them are like math professors. Others are like, you know, just math communicators, math educators. We're good at just explaining math concepts. And yeah, I'd recommend if you're like starting to go into math, these are actually pretty good places to start. And if there's something in these like sort of videos that are really interesting to you, then you can sort of keep going and keep learning about it. And this is something that you might call research. You're just like learning about a certain topic, and then you might even like come up, if you're thinking about this topic, you might like come up with new ideas or new things that you want to do in math. So like you can start from anywhere. Like you can like literally, I have like this research paper where I started from this YouTube video that I watched sometime in like 8th grade, 9th grade. And I thought it was pretty interesting. So then I just sort of continued looking at it. And then just like sort of Googled things. And yeah, I eventually just like wrote up like a research paper about this idea. So you can do math and you can start anywhere basically.
And also you don't have to do it all on your own. Like you should feel free to reach out to other people if you're interested in a topic and want to learn about it. So like I was interested in physics. I like just reached out to a professor at my local university. We started reading, and then I got into math, did the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can just reach out to anyone. There are like a lot of math professors who would be really helpful in your math career. I know there are a lot of math professors for me personally who helped me a lot. Yeah, so like there's a Professor Sushaiva from Fullerton who just encouraged me actually to do my math research, and also he invited me back to like give like a talk, like a presentation about my research. There was Professor Kyle, who also talked with me about different math topics. Yeah, but yeah, I guess it's good to just reach out to people. It's yeah. So other topics here. So, okay, how do you acquire an interest in math and gain motivation if you don't already? Like there isn't any way to like force it. I think the best way to at least try to address this is like to just try to like learn math. Try to get sort of acquainted with the language of math. Like you can't like know if you like something if you've never done it before. So you know, try to actually talk with people about math, different math ideas. You know, maybe reading about math. There's if you want to start reading on some math ideas, I recommend brilliant.org. It has a lot of like sort of blog posts and problems about math. So if you wanted to learn about math, you can get started reading about it. You know, it's just like you can't judge a book by its cover. You got to just like read some of it and see if it's good or not, and if you're actually interested or not. So
Yeah, I mean, I think like everyone has different interests, and like it's not like you need to be interested in math. Like there are tons of other cool subjects to spend time pursuing as well. But if you're like interested, it's like in learning more about math, because I feel like particularly since like in schools, like at least in my school, math wasn't taught in a way that I found particularly engaging. So I think it is like kind of worthwhile to try like engaging with math in some more like fun ways, and that you find fun. Like I think Kevin mentioned like 3 Blue 1 Brown earlier. It's a YouTube channel that I also really watched and I liked it. And I also like joined a math circle. Like I think lots of cities around the country have various math circles that you can go to, and I found that interesting. And I also did like competition math. So yeah, I think just like try out different subjects and see like follow what seems most interesting to you, I guess.
Yes, beautiful. Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah, you don't have to be interested in math. People, people do other things. People do poetry. People do whatever they want to do. You can do business. You can do chemistry. You can do whatever your heart desires. You can do.
Yeah, and you
not
don't have
just
to
math.
know what you're interested in. Yeah, either. Like you can do some math
Yes.
and some poetry and some like chemistry, and then maybe you'll find a way to like combine them when you grow up. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess you guys are all young. You have time to explore. We're also young. We also have time to explore, but to a lesser extent than if you're in like elementary school and you just like, you literally have your entire life in front of you and you can just do whatever you want in the future. So,
just do things that interest you. I think that's the clearest thing. I mean, a lot of problem with math. I also shared. I know what Fiona's talking about. Like math at my school is not taught very well. It's not taught in engaging ways. Basically, like it's all computations, very little creativity. So, like looking at these outside resources, maybe. And if you don't have interest in math, I have a lot of friends who like, you're interested in poetry as well, and it's just like just enrich your life with all these different like intellectual things. That's yeah
definitely. It's good, like even for me who I'm studying math. It's also good to like see what's happening in other fields. And you can literally just go into like storytelling or something and just like see what's happening. Go into music, see what's happening there. And religion, personally, for me, is an interesting philosophy. Philosophy is interesting, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's good to not focus on one, or like, I mean, you can focus on one area, but it's good to not just completely just be in only one thing. It's good to also have like know what's happening in other areas too. So
I think one of Harvard's Marshall or Rhodes Scholar this year. I can't exactly remember which one it is, but he the person was he was a double major in both history and mathematics, not like history and mathematics. So like Harvard offers joint concentrations. So I mean, it's definitely a good opportunity to definitely explore those as an option in college, and cultivate these different diverse interests. Harvard is a liberal arts institution, so all of us have to take writing classes, much to a lot of our chagrins, to the chagrin of a lot of us. So yeah, like just do interesting things and see follow where they lead you.
Definitely. Yeah, like joint concentrations are also like a really good pursuit if you're interested in like multiple things. So like if you're interested in, as Marvin said, if you're interested in like history but also computer science, then you can do a joint concentration, and what you do is you would like study the intersection of history and computer science. The math that you learn in school is kind of like a systematic thing. It's not exactly interesting. Like you don't even have to do like a complicated math for it to be like interesting. Sometimes like looking at just simple ideas, right? You can get some interesting math out of it. I think school math tries to like overcomplicate things or try to set you on like a set path. That's also a different thing. That's also a thing. You don't get to choose what you learn in school. You have to learn just whatever is given to you. So that's not good. But yeah, like as these people have said, Marvin and Fiona, just look at math outside of school before saying that before just cutting math out as one of your options. Like try to at least like get some familiarity with math. You know, talk with people who are interested in math and see what math is all about before you say that, okay, I'm not going to do math, right? Like that's fine. If you don't want to do math, if math's not for you, that's totally fine. Like everyone has their own thing, but I'm just saying at least give math a chance, right? Okay, so what other topics are you passionate about and why? Okay, that's actually kind of interesting because I don't know. I think I know what some of you are going to say, but not exactly. So philosophy for me personally is pretty interesting, thinking about I mean, this is just my own personal interest. It's not something I would like consider like seriously as being like part of my academic path or career. I mean, I might, you know, I might take a few classes on it at Harvard. Why not? So philosophy, thinking about truth, thinking about different perspectives on the world. There's a lot of interesting things like moral philosophy that you can go into, but yeah, that's one of my passions. Music. I also play alto saxophone, if you guys know that. Then jazz. I'm actually in like a jazz band with Fiona and two other people, Gabe and Roy, at Harvard, and we just meet up and just play music. So yeah, that's me personally. Yeah. Let's see. Other question. Okay, this is a fun one. I don't know if one of you guys want to answer it. Even if I don't have a particular interest in math, how can I succeed in other math-based pursuits like business or engineering?
I think I can sort of talk about this because I'm interested in CS and machine learning, which is very much a math-based pursuit, even though I actually didn't do any competition math or any like special math outside of my sort of set math classes in high school. So I think, you know, CS it's definitely, you definitely need a lot of math to succeed, but it's not that I'm sort of looking for the math to do CS. I'm really looking at CS and then doing the math sort of on top of that. So what gets me excited is the problem solving aspect that is sort of common to all these areas like business, engineering, CS, etc. And so I think if you can sort of get passionate about the problem solving aspect, then you'll sort of learn the math tools you need sort of as necessary to sort of really succeed in your field.
Yeah, definitely. Sort of like reverse engineering it. Like you start off with what you want. Like if you want to do something like design something or build something or make something, you start off with what you want to do, and then you basically like learn the math that you need to do that specifically. And sort of you're basically learning the math for something else. So even if you don't have a particular interest in math, yeah, you can just Google the paper, search it up, see what people have done it in that kind of math, use the equation or the theorem or whatever it is, and then just go from there. But yeah, I guess that's definitely true. You don't have to be particularly interested in math for its own sake in order to, you know, do amazing things with math. So
leaping off of Jason's point and Kevin's point is that like the reason why a lot of like mathematicians go into other fields and like CS is that I think math, like a math undergraduate major, probably it teaches you problem solving a lot. Like it really drills down those kind of problem solving techniques, even abstract mathematics, you know, like so I think the key central idea is problem solving, as Jason and outlined on, and yeah, we're just working on stuff.
yeah, definitely. Problem solving. So I guess taking math classes sort of helps with that sort of mindset. So if you want to go into that, yeah, math classes would be a great way to have that like problem solving based approach. Pre-college classes, what math, CS, physics classes do you take before college, and does it increase your admission chances? So I think taking math classes is a pretty good opportunity to learn things, to just get to know different things in math. I wouldn't try to like take math classes with the goal of increasing your admission chances. Like I wouldn't take something that you're like not interested in because you think that it'll get you a better chance of going to a good.
Also, like as a side benefit, yes, if you do take enough classes, if you advance far enough, it will probably increase your admissions chances. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is like, yeah, it is true that like it will probably increase your admission chances, but there's like opportunity cost too. Like if you don't take those classes, then you could maybe also do something else that is super interesting and like a different subject that could also increase your admissions chances. And also something else to consider, like kind of like Heaven was saying, like if you take classes in something you're not interested just for your admissions chances, then like once you're in college already, then like that's kind of some time that you wasted doing something that's not beneficial to you anymore, and you kind of starting over from the beginning, figuring out what you're interested in. So it's kind of like, there's, I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, so taking things to like increase your admissions chances is kind of a hard question to talk about for that reason. But of course, if you think you might be interested in math, then taking college level classes and going to advanced programs is a great idea, and it can be a really enriching experience. Oh, is this the slide where we talk about our like summer programs, like PROMYS and
No, I
Raw?
don't.
We have like
I
a
don't-
separate slide for summer programs. Yeah.
I
That
will
would be
say that there was this book by Cal Newport. I can't. It's about colleges. I can type down the author's name, but basically the point is that he talks about how you want to build up a peak, and by that means like just be interested in something a lot and do a lot in that subject. So if you're really interested in math, if you're interested in math, CS, and physics, and you like, then of course take classes, college level math classes, and it built to build on that interest. But if you're interested in poetry, take college level poetry classes to build on that interest. It's just become intensely, well, I don't want to say intensely, but just build on your interests.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you're interested in, do that a lot. And that is what will increase your admission chances, basically. Just be very immersed in whatever you're interested in. And like, right? So don't care about, basically, the idea is you gotta do what you're interested in, not like what will increase your admission chances, because actually if you do what you're interested in, that will actually increase your admission chances. So yeah, basically, just do what you're interested in. That's the point. Like it's more fun for you, and you get to go to a good college because of it. Like I guess what math classes did I take? I took some math classes at like a community college. This is like discrete math and multivariable calculus. And I also took like a data structures class for CS. And yeah, we're just talking about these interesting ideas and just learning more math. So let's see. What's this question? My child's interested in computer science career path. She has taken several Apcs classes, but that is pretty much. Okay, how do I build up the skills and a good portfolio needed to apply a CS major in a good university? Okay. Okay, So, I mean, it depends, right? There's like different paths sort of that you can go within CS. So then you can sort of go into coding, and you can start doing coding competitions, things like this. And maybe if you like, I don't know, like there are sort of different like competitions where you can practice your coding skills, learn more, and it's if you're good enough, you can get like an award or something that you can put on your college apps, something like that. So that's one way if you want to go into software engineering, coding. Like I recommend the USA Computing Olympiad. That's the thing I did in high school. But
yeah, if you want to like do besides coding competitions, you can just you can do side projects on your own. There are a lot of resources for that. You can volunteer at local nonprofits and work at local companies. Like these sometimes like coding competitions is a little bit like detached from coding and practice. So, but it's not like they're totally unrelated. But you can also like do a lot of cool build your own website, build some games, stuff like that. That it's not necessarily as like intense as coding competitions, but it's also a good way to like learn CS skills, and it's good for your resume.
Yeah, I can sort of talk more about like the pathways of CS after APCS. So I think Kevin touched on like that there's many different branches within CS. So one route is AI machine learning. And I think one way if you want to get into that is really looking at either if your school has some sort of machine learning club, or if you can go online, there's a bunch of resources online for learning machine learning. I know there's a really popular Andrew Ng's like machine learning class is a very popular one. But also doing like Kaggle competitions can help you just sort of familiarize yourself with what machine learning looks like, what that entire process might look like for solving a machine learning problem. And then you can also do research with machine learning if you want to sort of, I think research is also a great way to just like force yourself to learn a bunch of skills with machine learning, because if you want to do research, you better like know the skills really well. And I think there's other paths such as mobile web development. And so you can do websites. I think there's a bunch, like there's really a lot of resources online for CS, and that's what makes CS so great for me, is because like I can just Google things online and get the answer. So that's really nice. I'm not very familiar with like what competitions there are for the mobile web side of things, but there's definitely things where you like design an app, or like the Congressional App Challenge or something like that. You guys can Google those kinds of stuff, but those are very popular. And if you want to go into like parallel computing, quantum computing, computer systems, more of the hardware side, or even like cybersecurity, there's things like Capture the Flag tournaments, which is like cybersecurity stuff, Cyber Patriot. See what else? Yeah. There's just a lot of things to do with CS, and I think a great thing about CS is that you can make projects that you can sort of showcase like in a portfolio. So you can design a web app for your machine learning project or something like that. And yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I just want to, everything Marvin and Jason said, yes, absolutely. Like your personal projects are also like a big part of like your journey in CS. So these can be either your own projects or projects that you work with other people. They said that like if you work on projects with like another person, that's like you get stuff done a lot faster than if you were just working individually on your own sort of different aspects. So yeah, just as Marvin and Jason said, just join a club, Google things online, and yeah, just look up all the information about like this, whatever things you're interested in CS, and yeah, just keep going from there basically. So I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily computer science, but quantitative finance is also something you can get into. It's more like math and statistics than computer science, but it's still a little bit involved. Susie probably has things to say about that. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's just more, it's more like applied math and like statistics. So it seems like more, less abstract, because I feel like pure math is kind of scary in its own way. So yeah. So I feel like maybe the finance or like quant stuff, trading is good if you want to sell out. I think Marvin also likes the idea of selling out, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there are many different paths that you can take in CS. Yeah, Jason outlined a lot of them. Yeah, Jason actually does a lot in CS. It's like if you need to know anything about CS, Jason is your guy. All right. But summer camps. Okay, so this is the thing that we were talking about. So like who went to Ross here? So Marvin, Hari, we the Ross people, and then Fiona and Simon went to PROMYS, right? So yeah, hating on PROMYS. But okay, so what summer camps did you attend? Why did you like it? How would it prepare you for school? Okay, so Ross. So Ross, okay, it's like a pretty intense camp. Like a lot of other camps are like, I guess, less rigorous, for lack of a better word. Ross is like a lot of people there are just like doing math, just like pretty much all the time. At least for me, I was just kind of doing math all the time. So yeah, it was in Ohio. It was a pretty good time, I'd say. So I definitely was introduced to a lot of new math topics through Ross. And yeah, sort of just a little bit about like some topics I had never even seen before. Like we were talking about topology for a bit, or we were talking about like dynamics. We were talking just a lot of different interesting math topics. So yeah, I felt like it was a pretty good experience to just see what math would be like, what being a mathematician would be like, doing research with other people. That's definitely another thing. It's a lot of collaboration, right? Because you're doing all your math p-sets with like other people. So that's one of the things I liked about it. How would it prepare you for school? I don't think it would necessarily prepare you for like, okay, no, yeah, no, what am I saying? Yeah, for college, yes, of course, it'll prepare you for school. So math, so the math research that I did was like mostly number theory. Like we did some other things, but it was basically focused on number theory. So it would prepare me for like a number theory class in college, because I already know sort of the basic ideas of what's happening. And yeah, I guess the sort of mindset that you learn through Ross is also pretty important for whatever kind of math class that you're going to do, just the attitude of math research. Yeah, I'd say it was a pretty good experience for me to just be in that flow of math research. But you guys probably have a lot to say about it, so you guys can, yeah.
I will say, on that intensity note, it was a piece at a day, or like it was a piece at a day. And to give you context, like in the math class, like Kevin and I, is it, like it's a piece at a week, maybe. I guess they're more difficult, of course, but like that's that's very fast. That's very fast, and I kind of you kind of adjust the tempo of college life a little bit, of college academics at Ross. Yeah, there as well.
Now, you don't have to finish the piece that's at the rate that they're being
Yeah,
put out at Ross. So it is, in that sense, relaxed. You're able to take your time. But it is mostly focused on number theory. So I like number theory. You might or you might not. So it was quite intense, and it does prepare you for not only college life, but how it is to work in something approximating research.
Yeah, definitely.
Should I talk about PROMYS now? Or
Yes, you should talk about PROMYS. You guys should talk about PROMYS.
okay. Yeah, so PROMYS is kind of similar to Ross. I mean, it was kind of modeled based off of Ross. So like the first year, you're basically studying elementary number theory, and you get like a piece at a day, and it's basically focused on like proving number theory from the ground up, and like getting like deeply understanding what you're doing and problem solving, and like figuring out how to prove all these really interesting theorems on your own. And of course, like with the help of like your study groups, there's a lot of focus on like seeing math as like a collaborative enterprise, and also like gaining like the independence and problem solving skills to like that you will need in order to do research. Like I feel like PROMYS was really what prepared me to do research in math and to take like the more advanced classes I took in college. And then like if you come back for a second year at PROMYS, you can like take classes and other stuff. And I guess for me, like I really enjoyed PROMYS. Like it was personally, it was like one of the things that made me really interested in math. And I guess I liked having this community of people around me who are also as passionate as I am, and also like just really cool people. And I feel like even if you're not necessarily going to like plan on doing math in your future, it's still like a cool experience, and it builds these skills of like problem solving that are like very useful in general.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Fiona. I think a lot of it is like, self-discovery and like thinking about things, and like realizing that like, you and your friends are able to figure out really cool things in mathematics. And I think it was also one of my first experiences with like more complex mathematics. And I actually found like the relationships between like, these structures really interesting. And I think above that, I think it's also like, the community. I think the community is one of the most important things in college and these summer programs, and in like high school as well, where you have a community of peers that motivate you to keep going, who are there for you and who help you. And I think with all these summer camps, you like can make friends that you would say that like stick with you for a while. I still keep in touch with like most of my Palm set group, and then like I know Kevin and Wish also like met at PROMYS, right? So not met at Ross. So I feel like there's also a great community at these summer camps in addition to help you explore your interests in math.
Yes, amazing point right there.
Yeah, and we should make sure to like talk about some other summer camps too, I guess. Like I know a lot of people who went to Canada USA math camp, and I think like the difference between that and like the PROMYS Ross type camps is that there you take like each week you take like different classes, so you get like an overview of like all these different areas in math, And I feel like the people I knew there, I mean, I guess my impression was that it was like a little bit more relaxed. Like I think PROMYS and Ross are like a very intense like math atmosphere. I feel like Canada USA Math Camp was more about like exploring and kind of, I don't know, I feel like they had more fun than us, but I don't really know. And yeah, and then another math camp in middle school, I went to this math camp that was called Math Path. I don't know if there are people here who are like middle school aged, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was a really cool experience for me.
Yeah. I think there are like summer camps for younger students too. You just got to find them. Math Path, was it?
Yeah, Math Path. It was kind of like structured like, I think it was kind of like Canada USA Math Camp. Like each week you would have like courses on a different topic. And I feel like that was like where I actually like first became interested in math and like this problem solving aspect. And yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's for you guys. You're middle schoolers. You can try out some of these things.
There's also awesome math, and I heard some of my friends, they went to awesome math in middle school, and awesome math, and also CTY, Center for Talented Youth. That's also a pretty use. I had fun there. It's not very, you take a class, it's not very like intense or anything, but it was kind of fun. I went to the 11th grade. I went to the Research Science Institute, RSI. That was it was virtual, unfortunately, but it was still very fun. And you do your own research project. If you show an inclination to doing math research on your application, you have the chance to do a math research project. I know a few people who worked with professors at MIT. So yeah, there's also the Simon Summer Research Program. This is all for 11th graders stuff, which is, I'm not sure. I don't, there's a lot of computational projects, like computational biology projects, but I'm not sure if anyone's doing like pure math, but yeah, it's at Stony Brook. You just, these are for applications, I think in January, deadline in January. So yeah.
I would also like to provide like a counterpoint that you also don't need to like get into like these, like some of these camps are very hard to get into. And so what I did was I did just research sort of unaffiliated with any camp. I think in my summer before 11th and 12th grade. So probably like still for like juniors, seniors, but you can definitely like just reach out to professors in nearby universities. You can cold email them, just like express an interest in their research, and you can still definitely do good quality research through that way too. So don't get discouraged if like you don't get into RSI.
Yeah, and also I think there are lots of like these camps that we named, these are not the only camps. Like there are tons of other summer camps, and like for example, the Chicago Math Circle runs its own really nice summer camp, and I think other math circles might also do that. And I think like for me, like the most important aspect of it was like the community and having other people who are interested in math around me.
And also, if you want to continue this kind of work into the year, as Jason said, you should feel free to contact any professors or researchers. And also in math, I did not do this, but I think some people here did. There's MIT PROMYS is during the year research program if you're in junior year.
Yeah, I think Fiona and I did MIT PRIMES. I think it's also open to sophomores now. It's for sophomores and juniors. It's a little like challenging like the problem set to get in. So I think you need a little bit of experience, but I think it was really rewarding for me. I got to work in a group to work on a research project. I think it was on like linear algebra and representation theory. And it was really interesting because it was like, wow, I'm doing this work that's like kind of new that no one ever has like done before. And I think that was something that really excited me about the program.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I also worked with a group, which was really fun. I love my group members, and we did combinatorics. And yeah, the great thing about that program is that they like set you up with a research project and a mentor and like give you all the resources you need to like have a great experience kind of getting a feel for what math research is like. But of course, to like do math research, like Hari and Jason were saying, you don't need to get into a program like this.
Great. Yeah, we're actually sort of running low on time. We might go over time actually. We were planning on doing just 2 hours, but I guess we can go on if we want. If you guys want to stay, we can just whoever wants to stay can just stay. And if you gotta leave, if you have something else, then you can just but we'll just be going. Study habits. So this is more from parents, right? These are definitely parents' questions. So, but kids can also, stay here and think about it, because I also got to think about study habits, right? How can I be more productive? But okay.
I think this is a big, so Kevin and I think Simon, you also took Expos, right? Expository writing. So there's a class called Expository Writing 20 that basically all freshmen take it. It's required. It's a writing class. So you have to write an essay. There are 3 essays entirely, like 6 to 8 pages, 8 to 10 pages.
I know where
and I will say
I know what
that we all of us procrastinated on each and every one of them. So I mean, it's an ongoing process.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. So Exos, I mean, we all got to work on it. Like, it would be better to, of course, start early and like spread out the work over the entire, a few weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, if you're including like the draft, we have the draft and then the final version. So the entire thing, maybe 4 weeks. You have 4 weeks to write this. We write it in like 3-4 days or something. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's I mean, like, okay, what to say about this, right? How to motivate and develop self-discipline. So this is like a thing. I think this is like a lifelong thing. You just gotta keep yourself organized. Like, you can be a lot more productive if you were just, be organized with your time, I feel like, right? And this applies for everyone. Like, if you were to work all the time, of course you would like get a lot more done. But like, okay, so I guess I shouldn't say you don't want to work all the time, right? You got to have some time for resting and relaxing, chilling, doing your things. But like, I think it's better to sort of like have a plan.
I know a lot of Harvard students just have this Google Calendar, and it's like some people's Google Calendars are crazy. But I think it's just very important to sort of have this sort of mindset of having this agenda or to-do list of things to do, and getting those things done on time, and setting these goals, just like reasonable goals. Like, I'm not going to like read 10 books today by the end of today, but like, if you set reasonable goals and you have the practice of making those goals, then that will sort of help you sort of stay on top of things in the future. And I think it's very important to have like a work-life balance. You definitely don't want to be like working all day, but I think it's also important that you get your work done before you start playing, and so that will sort of help you budget your time more efficiently.
I will also, like, but in some sense, this procrastination is like will be more a part of life as you become an adult, because like you will have a lot more things to juggle, and it's a good thing to get good at if like if you want to take on more and more things. I think in some sense, it's good to be able to do it if you need to.
I will say that a lot of people, they talk about working the long hours, but that's only half of the battle. You want to work those hours efficiently. You want to be efficient and very productive during those hours. So in that sense, like taking time off for yourself is very important for making sure that when you work well and you make progress. Because a lot of time that, like, especially in college, and I did this a lot, is that I pseudo worked. Like, I was on my phone while doing like writing an essay, but listening to like listening to a podcast or something, that's not like, you want to avoid those kind of things. You want to like kind of divide your work time and your play time, and then, work hard, play hard. And either yeah, and I think scheduling helps with that. Budgeting your time carefully, but helps with that. I think key is that you build like these kind of productive habits that will serve you over the long time. I will say that it's kind of like weightlifting in some sense, that much you can't really like become very strong, and if you work like 4 hours for a day for a week and then just stop working, stop exercising, is just like an hour a day, but very consistently. That's kind of the approach you want to take. Very consistent effort, very focused effort. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like time management is something that like, well, I personally am definitely still struggling with that. I'm a big procrastinator. And I feel like it's something that like I've kind of gotten better at it as I've grown and matured. So I think like that's something that like you'll probably get better at with practice. But yeah, like everyone else was saying, I think an idea of breaking down these big projects into like small goals and like spacing it out and trying to get like a couple things done each day and just like paying more attention to how you manage your time are all strategies that can help. And also making sure to not like burn yourself out by like working all day. Like I think especially in college, like a day is a long time, and I feel like if I spend my whole day working, like I'm not going to have enough like self-discipline to do that. So I think like setting aside some time to like relax and setting time to sleep and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, generally for me, like better time management and self-discipline were skills that I like I'm starting to grow into with some practice, I guess.
Yeah, I guess sort of you don't want to like not be productive at some, like, what if you're like set aside some time to work and you still like don't know what to do. Like, it's like you don't want to be sitting there and just like when you're trying to be productive but not being productive. So and if that's the case, you should probably just like talk with people, like, or just take a break, maybe you just got to take a break. So either way, but everything that you got to do to make sure that when you are working, you're working at your hardest and you're working very productively. And if you're not working very productively, maybe it's better to just take a break, talk with someone, talk with people about the work that you have to do, and then sort of get back into it after a little bit. So I think that's something that I have actually done. I think I know I've done it with some people here. Actually, I've done it with Hari a few times, I think, where I'm just like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. So just talk about it with someone, and then just like, and then go back into doing it. So, so for me personally, that's something I would recommend trying sometime. Also, yeah, just going out for like a walk or doing something to just reorient yourself is also good when you're just like stuck and you can't like think about anything productive or so yeah. Computer games is another topic. So I played computer games when I was a kid, like in elementary school, middle school. I don't play as much now though. So I don't really know how it affects your priorities. But I think games are a pretty good way to connect with people. Like we still play games at Harvard, like we'd play Celeste of Catan and things, just relax. And yeah, I guess it's like, you know, it's a pretty good way to just chill, forget about the academic work, the extracurricular work that you got to do, and just sort of focus on like a little thing with your friends and just relax, I guess. So
Yeah, I had a mild League of Legends addiction when I was in high school. It was not very great, but I think as like everyone was saying before, I think for trying to make it not affect your priorities, what you do is like, you know, you set goals, you create deadlines for yourself, and you can only play League for that long, and then eventually like, wow, I have to do my goal, or else like, you know, I'll fall behind like my life, my progress, right? So you're like, wow, and then you had to tell yourself to stop like playing games eventually. I feel like maybe like an hour of video games a day is a lot, but it's not like the end of the world. But I think moderation is the answer to this question.
I think having also been through that phase, I think it's important to like have it be very intentional that you're going to play the games and not just like, oh, like I'll do a problem and then I'll go back to playing games and then I'll do a problem and go back to playing games. I think like I think it's important to separate them and just to be like, make sure it's not easy to slip from studying into playing games. And so, yeah.
yeah, that's true. So yeah, I mean, games are like, I have nothing against games, right? Games are a pretty good way to just connect with people, and just like, you know, think about these interesting, like, sort of self-contained little worlds that you just be in, and do your thing. But that's definitely true. You got to moderate. You got to be sort of conscious about the sort of goals that you have in mind. So yeah, I guess that's, yeah, that's what I would say. Okay. So more study habits for learning math. Effective studying habits for learning math. So I'm actually really curious about what you guys are gonna say for this, because I don't know. I like, it's always good to know more about how to learn things. And that, what do you do when you don't understand something, when you find math problems are challenging. So okay. For me personally, how would I answer this? So when I don't understand something or I find something is challenging, I mean, the best way, of course, you got to talk with people about this. Try to ask people for help, and you know, for collaborating with other people. And if you're all stuck on it, then ask other. Yeah, I guess first you got to ask your friends. Then you ask like your teacher who knows all the answers, and you can try to like figure it out that way. Or if you're okay, but then for math research, it's a separate thing, because there are no answers at the back of the book. You just have to just think about it, I guess. So like, sure, talking with people about it is kind of useful. But
I think probably consistency is key. Just keep on doing it intensely for a long period. And then in terms of like, I don't know, just having some sort of procedure to like deal with something if you don't understand something. That's good. Like having TAs, teaching assistants, course assistants that are always there that can like kind of push you to the right path. Making sure that you actually struggle through the problems first, like if you there's like there's definitely like I still don't know like when this happens, but when you should like ask for help. Like I definitely think that if you're stuck on a problem, there's some worthwhile just thinking through different ways to approach it and like exhausting those methods, and then like waiting before you get help. I think that's yeah. This is still a difficult question. Like when do you need to like get help? But I think it's definitely good to like think about those problems on your own. Try a bunch of different things. Like just keep on like throwing things at the wall, hoping that they'll work. Um, uh, and then what do you do when you don't understand something? If you don't understand something, if you have no idea, then I would probably just get help. Like if you have absolutely no idea, no place to start no where to start the problem, I would probably ask for help. And then, but if you have some idea, then I would probably just like work at the idea until you exhaust it or until and see what happens and then think through it. What do you do when you find your math problems are challenging? That was fall semester. For yeah. Just spend. I think a lot of it's coming with time and then trying a bunch of sorts of things, and then it comes to you. And then yeah, just I think the first time I started working on difficult math problems for like intensely was probably at the Ross mathematics program. And the way I think I approached that is that you intensely do it, you do it for and you spend a lot of time on it, but also you have all these resources around you, your friends to rely on, not to like talk to when you're stuck. So like yeah, I guess it's a combination of those things.
Yeah, and sometimes when I've been stuck on a math problem for like a really long time, it helps me to like get up and go for a walk and like think about something else. And then when I come back to it, sometimes the solution is like just like comes to me more easily.
Yes, it comes to you. That's what Ram Nugent said, right? Or something. I don't know.
I think this is the same thing with writing as well. Like Ernest Hemingway in his memoir Immovable Feast talks about like how the subconscious mind was like was writing for him. And I believe that's like something that's just genuinely true for any kind of like intellectual pursuit. That if you think about it deeply for a very long time, and then your subconscious somehow picks it up and then it does some work, like gives you some inspiration or something.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about from like a psychology point of view. Like where are your ideas coming from, right? And it's like maybe it's like all the knowledge you sort of consolidated in your mind, it's just there, and it's like somehow it just comes up, an idea just comes up, and then it's like, wow, that's how you do it. But yeah, I don't really know how it works. That's probably psychologists know more about it. But yeah, definitely interesting to think about, I guess. So if that's the case, then it's good to just spend a lot of time thinking about it, as Marvin said. Just sort of immerse yourself in this one topic, and just eventually, hopefully, your subconscious will just figure everything out, and you'll be good. I don't know.
But I also think that, like, when Kevin, you were talking about research, I think that a lot of research now is very collaborative. So in many papers, you will find this paper benefited from conversations with so and so. So I think there is a lot of reading the literature, figuring out what's been done in research. Like it's not everything doesn't just come from like the lone wolf thinking about like brilliant ideas. You do have to talk to people, and it's very fun to talk to people as well. So be more enjoyable.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So talking with people if you're stuck, and yeah, knowing how to get help, I guess. That's like, yeah, study habits. Okay. Research. Okay. Have you done research in high school or college, and what was it like? Okay, so yeah, so I've done research. I mainly just did my own personal project. I know some of you guys did like research with like a summer camp or something, but I basically just so my research, I think I talked about it before, but my research paper came from like a YouTube video about like is about something in number theory, sort of having a flavor of like combinatorics. So thinking about like sort of like different combinations of things and counting.
I did.
Oh, go ahead, Marvin.
Oh, sorry. I did research at an environmental lab. I did computational environmental science. So it was a lot of coding, a lot, quite just a lot of coding, and data science and R and Python, like using known libraries. Yeah, computational environmental science. I would say it was pretty fun. It was definitely not like theoretical or anything. But I would say it's probably different than like it's much more like kind of an engineering or doing stuff with your hands on the laptop with your programming. And how did I find research projects? I mainly contacted a mentor, said I was interested in a few things, and then they like narrowed it down. Like yeah, that was basically my process.
Yeah, for me, it was very similar to Marvin. I sort of reached out to a bunch of professors, had one that, replied back, and sort of we discussed, I was interested in doing something machine learning, and their lab was specifically doing stuff with like NLP, natural language processing, and sort of graph theory stuff. So that's sort of what I ended up doing, and I actually really liked it. It is not for the faint of hearted. Research is definitely a very time intensive thing. So definitely if you want to do research, you want to make sure you're dedicated to it, because if you're not, then you're not going to get much out of it. So I think it was very fun. Honestly, for me, I had a lot of fun just exploring all the different things that people have done in sort of the areas that I was interested in. So I was working on sort of social media, machine learning, sort of like monitoring online behavior. And also I was working on something with Chinese characters and how they are understood by computers. So I think there's just like research topics. I mean, you guys are all like, as a high schooler, right? I don't think many of us had like very set research directions. So I think it's a great idea to just explore, see where research takes you. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I should probably do something like similar to Jason and Marvin, where I like ask a professor for a research topic instead of do my own thing. I know a lot of people do that. It's like the standard way to do some pretty cool research topics, because they have a lot more knowledge about these areas than we do. So that's probably a good approach. Yeah, what about the rest of you guys? y'all have things to say about research too.
Yeah, I had a similar thing where I was interested in physics. I was interested in reading. So I reached out to a professor and we just started reading a book. It was fun. And then in math, I reached out to another professor. We worked on some topic in algebra, which was interesting. And there was also an engineering professor who we did a project with. And this is very similar to other people's experience.
Yeah, I also reached out to professors to do research. I think I did a research project with a math professor in like stochastic processes. So yeah, I think reaching out does help.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a bit about research or experiences. Marvin, did you have something to say?
Yeah, just email like 30 professors. Like, yeah, 30 professors in the CS department. And then I'm pretty, someone will respond back to you. And I will say for most of my, if you aren't doing math research, so, okay, so I think there are basically like 3 different experiences for high school research. One is math research, where you're just thinking about a problem, and then you write some LaTeX code, and that's what you do. Others like computational research, which was what I did. It's a lot of programming and data analysis. Third is like wet lab. So you spend a lot of time shaking beakers, running experiments. So those are the type of like things you do in research in high school.
Yeah. There's different paths that you can take depending on what kind of stuff you're interested in. But yeah, all about finding what you're interested in and then just asking around for anyone who's doing stuff you're interested in. And yes, that's that. Okay. Okay, so some people have questions about community service / volunteering. So what community service have you participated in? Why do you like it? How would it prepare you for college? Okay, so you guys all know me for Math Matters. But okay, why do I like Math Matters? I think it's just because I got to meet a bunch of new people, like all you guys, Johnny, Catherine, Eric, AZ, Grace, all the co-directors, all the tutors, the students. It's been a pretty great experience. And I think you learn a lot through like sort of organizing these sort of events and things, and how would it prepare you for college? I think the ability to just like organize things with people, get stuff done with people. I think that's a pretty widely applicable thing. And also like community service is just something to do, like I'm still doing community service at Harvard for teaching kids, sort of doing the same thing, continuing my high school path. And yeah, that's it's been a great experience, learned a lot from it. Yeah. How to find a good community service programs? You can just like look them up. I think most of the good ones have like websites that you can just look at the stuff that they do, and just see if it's good or not, if it's a good fit for you, and just reach out to them, email them, do things. How much time did you dedicate to community service? So I dedicated quite a bit of time in high school to like organizing all these things. So like I would go to the library once a week. Sometimes I would go like twice if like another library place were like missing people, then I would just go there and help out. I would also meet up with like the co-directors VPs talk about things. We would have like meetings on Zoom, and yeah, just talking about the different things. So yeah, I'd say that's the time I dedicated to community service for me personally. But I know all you guys have different stories. So what do you think?
I think for me, sort of where I did most of my community service was with, so it was with my Chinese school. I don't know if that's a thing in California, but it's like a weekend school for learning like Chinese. And so I sort of grew up in that community. And so as I got older, it was like the obvious choice for where I would be volunteering for. So I taught math, CS, robotics classes there. Yeah, so I think just it's about sort of contributing back to the communities that you care about. So like I would definitely think about, you know, what communities have helped you as you were growing up, and sort of what can you do to repay them in any way. And I definitely spent a lot of time of community service when I was in high school.
Oh, I definitely. Oops, sorry, was something okay, I'll go first then. Yeah, so I definitely agree with Jason, and I think that like you should identify communities that like really contributed to your growth. And for me, it was my math team. I joined my math team when I was like in 6th grade, and there was this math competition called the Joe Holbrook Memorial Math Competition that our math team organized every year for like the local middle school and elementary school population. And like that was really how I got started in mathematics. So when I went into high school, like this was something I really wanted to contribute to and participate in. And so I did that for the 4 years. And when I was a senior, it was like my turn to sort of lead organizing that. And I think it was really fun, and we tried to like, you know, expand the tournament to more people and improve access. I think, and I think just find something you're passionate about. For me, it was like mathematics and making sure that younger students are exposed to mathematics as well. And also just like do something you're passionate about. And yeah, wait, okay, that was really the repetitive answer, but sure.
That was good. Yeah, basically, yeah, it's better. It's like more fulfilling if you do something that you're passionate about. That's definitely true. So like for me, math matters, definitely like that. So whatever the stuff you like to do, you can give back to your to your community. I think it's a great thing to just do, and you get to meet people along the way. So it's a win-win.
I did a lot of environmental stuff in high school. So I was part of something called the Youth Environmental Action Summit. It's only in my area in Maryland. So we did a lot of like environmental activism, cleanup, stuff like that. It was a lot of diverse activities. I think I wrote a few press releases, something like that. I also started a recycling club at my school, and just I did a lot of stuff relating to environmental science. I'm not sure. I was also involved in something called 0 Hour, which is like there's another besides community service and volunteering. You can also be involved in like political action organizations. Like I was involved in 0 Hour, which is a climate justice organization, youth-led climate justice organization. So yeah, I definitely, outside of research, community service was like my largest extracurricular. So it was most time-consuming extracurricular.
Yeah. It is like if you're doing a lot, like it's like it's not like work if you're like enjoying it. So it's don't think about it like it's like, oh, it's so much time that you have to commit. It's like it's fun, like it's meaningful stuff to do. So yeah. So let's see, shall we go on to the next one? Okay, college apps. Okay. Um, what do you think got you accepted for the colleges you are in? Okay, so there's a whole process, right, for college apps. And so I think for me, what got me accepted into the colleges that I got accepted into, personally, okay, because this is like a thing, because there's some colleges that I got accepted into, some colleges that I didn't get accepted into. And the reason for those acceptances was like my interview, literally. I'm sort of dodging the question here, but basically luck. That's what got me in some of the colleges I got into. But no. So I think just the things that we talked about on the seminar, like if you were interested in, reach out to people and just be immersed in the stuff that you like to do. I think that's probably why. I think that applies for all of us. That's probably why we got into the colleges that we got into. Hopefully, like probably.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah, Marvin.
I think just to summarize the advice is that all of us like developed a peak in something. You don't need to be great at like a lot of things. I know it's bad to say this, but you don't really need to be like terribly well-rounded. It's just you need to like be passionate about a few things and then spend a lot of time on the things that you're passionate about. And I think this shows in the in your essays and your extracurriculars. I think even the awards show that, oh, this is kind of like a rubber stamp that you've spent a lot of time on this, and then like you're passionate about this. It is a lot of luck. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of luck. Like, what if you're not to panic or frighten any of you, just what if your like AO is having a bad day while they're reading, and then you don't get accepted for that reason. That could happen. So just like there is a lot of luck in this. I would say that interviews probably matter less, and this is just my opinion because I've heard that they don't contribute at all, but that could just be my experiences. I would say in terms of college applications, please do not like stalk or go on College Confidential and r/applying to colleges like obsessively. They do have some useful information sometimes, but please don't like it's these like college admissions can get very toxic, and those websites / are like the cesspools of toxicity. Just for your mental health, please just avoid those places. This College Confidential r/applying to colleges, just go on them very sparingly.
Yeah, also I think that like I feel like in high school, one of my main goals was to like, get into a good college. And I thought it was like so cool and everything. And I was actually a really competitive person in high school. I was like, wow, I want to beat this person and do well at everything. But I feel like, that's like not necessarily like what your goal should be in life. And I feel like just take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. I feel like everything's gonna be okay. I don't think that like college admissions are actually that important. Like now that it's like all open and everything. So I think another thing is just not to worry too much about it and like just find things you're interested in and do what you care about.
Yeah, I would agree. Like college admissions, they do play a role, but not as much, not as much as people like stress about it. Like people are always stressing about college apps, right? But it's not like that. I mean, it is important. Like if you get into a good college, that makes it things after easier. Like you have more opportunity to do things. So I guess if you're, yeah, I guess if you think about it that way, if you're like, so if you want to get into a good college, it's sort of like you're sort of offloading the work, you're sort of preloading the work to like before college, instead of like after college. So if you like do your stuff, do the things that you're interested in, and reach out, do the things now, then you can get into good college, and then like later you have like an easier time, I guess. Like there are more opportunities, I guess, that way. This is one way to sort of think about it. Yeah, how are you about to say something?
Yeah, I mean, because it is a lot of luck. There's a baseline that you should be passionate about things, but then there is the element of luck, the like random extraneous factors that are out of your control. What that means is that if you're able to, you should apply widely. That's probably the most important, like practical conclusion.
I think an important mindset to have when you're applying to colleges is that you just want to try your best, and then sort of whatever happens will happen. So I think definitely you want to put in all your effort into your essays, making sure they're good, making sure you're being very passionate about what you're doing and letting that show. But just as long as you sort of do your best and you feel like you've done all that you could, then whatever happens will happen. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like it's important to remember that like the college decisions are not like a judgment on your character or how successful you're going to be in life or anything like that. It's all a little bit random and a little bit confusing. And I think that makes it more stressful and like not knowing exactly like what will get you in and like who the colleges will accept. But I think like Jason was saying, it's important to just like try your best and then kind of let it go and see what happens and realize that like whatever happens, you'll be fine. You'll be able to like you're like you'll be able to thrive at like wherever you end up, and that it's not like a judgment on who you are as a person or something like that. It's just like the college is trying to make some sort of decision that they think will help them as colleges.
Yeah, it's more of an indictment of their own, like idiosyncrasies, whether they accept someone or don't. Like, yeah, and also like basically just going off of what everyone said is that like careers they last their decades, like I mean whether someone is successful, I don't know, however you define it, really depends on a lot of different things, a lot of soft skills, and you won't, and at whatever college you end up going to will just matter less in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, as you go through life, basically, things will change, and yeah, basically what Marvin said. It's not the biggest deal which college you get into. You can still, do the things, to, I don't know. You can still do the things that you're interested in after you get into college. So, yeah. Okay, we sort of talked about time management, but yeah, how's it balancing school and friends / extra things? Okay, I think we can talk about wait, so I think the first two, I don't think we talked about that second question actually. Yeah, I guess balancing the schoolwork and projects and friends and different things. Okay, how do you balance your time? Because I think a lot of us took like pretty heavy classes workloads last semester. So yeah, I guess, okay, how do I balance my time between schoolwork and like projects and friends? I mean, these sort of things, they don't have to be like mutually exclusive. Like a lot of schoolwork you work on with friends, and some of them also turn into your personal projects. So it's all very related, interrelated, interconnected. So it's not like these like separate things, I guess. So yeah, I guess this sort of just goes back to what we were talking about before, time management. Set aside some time to do things. If it's individual, set aside the time to do individually. If it's like working on a team, set aside some time to just talk about this with your group. And yeah, I guess, as Jason said, Google Calendar is pretty good. Yeah, anything else that you want to add? Sorry, we're kind of we're like way over time right now, like almost to 3 hours, but anything else?
I would just one note, like I met Kevin while we were doing PSETs. I met Simon earlier, but like I think we really got to know each other when we were doing a Stat 110 PSET sometime. Just you make a lot of your friends through these classes. Yeah. I still don't know the second bullet point. How is it balancing schoolwork while also finding time to put into projects? I have no idea how to do that as of now. But yeah.
Wait, Simon did HCS, right? So that's like a sort of like a project.
Yeah, like I wasn't able to do HCS. Like I needed to just like I wasn't able to like pursue any extracurriculars, like any technical extracurriculars in the fall because just things, it was a little stressful. But yeah, I think this is just a skill you learn through time. And yeah.
Yeah, that's the same for me. I didn't really do that many like technical extracurriculars last semester. But you know, it's like, yeah, I guess Simon has things to say about this because he actually did stuff.
I didn't do any. Oh yeah, I actually didn't do that much things, but I think also for like in college, like extracurriculars are just like for you to explore stuff. And I think it's really like just do what you're just like do what you're interested in as always. I feel like balancing things. Well, I actually didn't like. I feel like they just said I balanced things, but I just didn't. And I like. I was okay. Fun fact. For my last math piece. Oh, I didn't do the last math piece. For my second to last math piece set, I was like 2 weeks late. So I was not very good at balancing things, and I think that's also something that I need to work on next semester as well. But I think, yeah, I think this is like a challenge throughout life in general, where you're like, wow, I have all these things that I want to do, but I also am really lazy. But I also like, I feel like this is just a life challenge where you want to like learn how to balance things. And I think this is a problem that will like all of us will face throughout our lives, I guess.
Yes.
Maybe prioritization. Like, okay, you cannot do there are definitely a few PSETs in Math 55 and definitely stat that I just BS'd, did not do my best work on. I like hand wrote instead of LaTeX and put very low effort. Same thing as econ. So just like know what to like, choose your battles carefully. I think that's probably know what you want and then choose the best way to approach what you want. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, we're kind of like short on time here, but we can talk about this one, important, like building connections. So finding friends in the field you're interested in, finding mentors, advisors, and getting the right connections. Okay. Okay, talking with people. Okay. So if your school has like sort of clubs that are like things they're interested in, you might go there, check it out, see what they're talking about, and see if they're actually interesting to you. Like I met a lot of my high school friends who are interested in math through that. So I recommend that. And for mentors, advisors, I think we already said just email them. You can be like Marvin, send 30 emails, and yeah, that's hopefully one of them will reply, and then yeah, you can just start talking about your interests, start talking about like things that you might want to do, and go from there basically. Yeah. And good ways to find the right connections and build leadership skills. I guess looking at the different projects that people are working on in your field of interest. And yeah, you can just see, just start working with people, basically. Just talk to people, make some friends in the field, and eventually, I mean, leadership, it's also like it's not necessarily that you have to be any high position to be like a leader, right? Even just like talking with people and motivating people to do certain things that's pretty good leadership. If you can motivate someone to like do things, then no, that's pretty much that's leadership. So that's I don't know, that's my view of it. But I think you guys have things to say, so yes, the floor is yours. Or no? Okay, then I guess. All right, I guess that's it. So I did a good job. You agree with the stuff I said, I guess. Okay, I guess that's okay. We have unanimous agreement. Sure. Okay. Nothing more to be said here. So let's just do a very quick Q&A section. Some of the questions that people have. So here, if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand using the feature, and we will sort of call on you guys and you can ask the question and then we can talk about it. So, or we can also just answer questions in the chat. But if you have any questions, I guess we'll answer the people who raise their hands first, I think, instead of just going through the chat. But so Wei had a question earlier. Wei asked, do you set different goals in college versus in high school? Applies to both short-term and long-term goals. So different goals. Okay. Like you're going to be working with different people in high school and in college, but in terms of the goals, let's see. In high school, I think one of your important goals should just be exploring. Like actually just go and look for different things that you might be interested in. Because like when you're in high school at that stage, I mean, the same is true for college. Never mind. So I guess, yeah, exploring is still a thing for college, but it's like less, it's I guess more flexible in high school, or is it? Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, 7 classes is just rough. Like 7 class.
That's true.
I don't. Yeah.
You know what? That's true. That's actually true. Okay. I guess these are sort of goals that you would sort of, yeah. Whatever you're doing in high school, you sort of want to continue into college. Like that's the, like pursuing your interests and things. It's definitely like that. In high school, you don't think about like, yeah, I think in college you start thinking about like jobs and sort of doing things more career oriented because you want to get a job somehow. So that's something to think about, some goal to plan towards. But in high school, you're mainly just like exploring the things that you're interested in. You're not really thinking about the job that you're gonna have. So I think that's one difference, just applying for internships, and meeting people in like these jobs, going to job fairs, doing all that. Yeah, that's probably one thing. Anything else to add?
Maybe you have like fewer goals, but your goals are more difficult and require more time. That's actually, I think that's probably a good explanation for everything in college, because the work you know, you aren't given like homework every night, but the homework that they give you it just kills you. Just one problem takes 2 to 3 hours, and you don't get it until the CA gives you like a major hint.
Yep, talk about 55, and I get you.
Problem set 2, question 10.
And CS 61, you just have no idea how to do it. You're just staring at it, being like, what? But okay, any other questions? Yeah, I don't know what. Okay, is Harvard online or in person? It is going to be in person next semester. Yeah, COVID's going to be kind of weird, but they committed to being in person, I think. So, yeah, feel free to raise your hands also, guys. Has anyone raised their hand? No, I don't think so. If you have questions, that's probably like the fastest way for us to just like answer them. But yeah. I think a lot of these questions are sort of things that we talked about. So if there's anything new, you guys can put it in the chat. But, oh, we have a hand. Yes. Li Hui.
What type of activities did you do over the summer to prepare you for college?
Okay, activities. So we sort of talked about the summer, like summer camps that we did. What else did I do? So I did Ross for the summer before junior year and before senior year. Before senior year is like it was all online. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I also sort of taught some math or coding classes the summer before college. So I think it's a pretty cool experience to just you know, to teach on Zoom and yeah, basically. Yeah, this is like when Math Matters is also on Zoom. So yeah, other than that, I was also working on like my own personal projects, you know, working on like games and also my own like sort of machine learning projects. And yeah, those are some of the things I did in high school during the summers. Any other summer stuff?
I did some leak code.
Leak
I did
code.
some leak code. I did some I was bored, so I went a little bit through art and that I exercised.
Okay.
I exercised. You just do it. I mean, senior summer, it sucked because ours was during COVID.
Yeah.
But like just do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. Relax.
Before college.
Yeah, but it's before college. I mean, some people, I think they try to get an internship, but it doesn't really help. Just you be you.
Yeah, I just say just relax. Yeah, just have the time to just relax before college, because college is going to be like a new, different world. Just take some time to reflect, be yourself, and yeah, I agree with what Marvin said on that. Anything else? Okay, we can move on to another question. Is there an in-person campus tour at your school? Yes. Wait, is there? Do you know about this? I have no idea. You can probably search it up. what do you recommend freshman high schoolers do? Okay, freshman year, you got some time to explore, right? For a freshman. So I just joined the math club and just talk with people in freshman year. So I would recommend, yeah, just talk with people about what they've done. Try talking with upperclassmen too, or some like sophomores, juniors, seniors, seeing what they have done. And yeah, I'd probably say. What about you guys? What do you think? As a freshman in high school, you just got into high school, first year, got done with your first semester of high school.
I think volunteering is a pretty good thing you can do, and it's not like something competitive or anything that like you'll be restricted from doing. So I think volunteering is always something that you can do throughout. I mean, throughout all 4 years, all summers of your high school. But yeah.
Yes. Join Math Matters. Self-promotion. But okay.
Volunteering is a good idea. Maybe pick up some of the basics of programming. That's just going to be useful if you want to do research, if you want to do projects, that helps. Build some relationships with teachers. I think that actually helped me a bit, actually. Building relationships with teachers, find out about these different opportunities. Don't worry too much. Yeah.
Yeah, my high school math teacher, I knew her since freshman year, so we were basically talking since then, and I continued to work with her until senior year because I was still doing the math club, even though it wasn't in her class. I was still in the math club, still doing this stuff, and yeah, okay. Anything else? Oh, yeah, I guess if there's any, we have another question. Sports and orchestra. I did marching band. That was fun. So yeah, you have time to just do the extracurriculars, and stuff you're interested in, you should just keep doing. So yeah, I stopped doing my school band and I started like playing with some of my friends and just meeting up in like in a little group and just doing it that way. But yeah, I think people here did music, right? I know Gianna did music, Jason did some.
I did violin in my school orchestra, 9th and 10th grade.
Violin, yes. Anyone do sports?
The silence is kind of funny. I didn't do any like sports on my school, but I did weightlift outside of school, and I'll have to say weighlifting is like a good exercise to do. Just building up strength. That's a good exercise to do. Like start doing push-ups and like trying to be able to do a pull-up. Your first pull-up will be like an amazing experience. So yeah. Even if you don't do sports in school, you can find I think I may have no, my brother wrote an essay about like he also weightlifts. He got me interested in weightlifting. He wrote an essay on weightlifting.
Oh.
So like just even you shouldn't do those things because you expect some sort of like college applications benefit, but like weightlifting is a good exercise to get into. Yeah.
Yes, I would recommend this too. I got into it this summer and it was pretty good. It's good to just exercise, be active, do things. Yeah. I think we are like quite a bit over time, over 3 hours. So not 3 hours, 2.5 hours. What am I saying? 2.5 hours. Yeah. We're at 2.5 hours. So yeah, it's been quite a while. But thank you guys for sticking with us through the entire time. And yeah, I guess we could just call it here. Thank you all for coming. And yeah, good luck with all your own math journeys. This was us. I really like talking with you guys. It was fun just talking with all you guys, actually. Thank you guys so much for coming here, man.